That's enough, thanks. Well, thanks a lot for coming out tonight. Really, yeah. Isn't this a great club? Don't you love this place? Yeah, oh, wonderful backdrop. It's like being inside a chimney. Which I gotta say is kind of uncomfortable for a Jew. Now, you young comics in the room, that's how you do it. Okay? Get the Holocaust reference out there right off the top. Clear sailing after that. So it's been brought to my attention that I'm older than dirt. And I'm okay with that. Had a birthday, turned 69. Wow. 6 years ago. I just like the sound of that number. Okay, I guess you guys do too. But just to be clear, being 69 and doing 69 are pretty much mutually exclusive. I have enough trouble trying to do one thing at a time, okay? This kind of acrobatics, trying to get the right part into the right place, forget it. Everything is going haywire now, though. I got hair growing in places hair doesn't belong. I'm losing hair in places I'd like to have it. Peeing constantly, sometimes after I've opened my fly. I don't know what the hell's going on here. You know those books they make 11, 12-year-olds read, What's Happening to My Body? We need something like that for 70-year-olds. I would buy 5 or 6 copies of that thing. Put one in every place I might think to look for it. But it's all about pain now. Everything is about pain. Somebody asked me where it hurts. I got to go to that children's song. You know, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Or as I relate to it, migraine, bursitis, arthritis, and gout. But people ask me how I deal with getting old. And I tell them pretty much the same way I dealt with being young. Drugs. Of course, my choice of drugs has changed. Instead of marijuana, now it's Metamucil. Which I find much harder to roll up. Nearly impossible to keep lit. You know, I don't know how people use this stuff. Oh, things change when you get old. My idea of being good in bed now is sleeping through the night. No accidents. You know, that's as good as it gets. But some of you may be thinking that you're getting old. And as a public service, I have some helpful hints, guidelines to let you know whether that is in fact happening. With apologies to my friend, Jeff Foxworthy, for borrowing his format. You might be getting old. If you have to lie down and rest for half an hour after taking a shower, you might be getting old. If you remember the Braves playing baseball in Milwaukee, the Hawks playing basketball in St. Louis, the Colts playing football in Baltimore, but don't know what you were doing or where you were this morning, you might be getting old. If you grunt more than twice while putting on your shoes, you might be getting old. If the news gets you aroused and porn puts you to sleep, you might be getting old. If a friend wants to meet you for drinks at 11, and you just assume he means a.m., you might be getting old. Or you're in Wisconsin. All right. If you hear somebody in their 30s or 40s complain about getting old, and you just want to say, fuck you, you have no idea. You might be getting old. If you take Viagra, just to keep from accidentally rolling off the bed at night, be getting old. If you think everything is starting to smell like cheese, but it turns out it's just you, definitely getting old. Well, people are pretty agitated about this Roe versus Wade question. And let me just say, I got to go with Roe on this one. Stay in the boat, keep pulling on those oars. Wade, you're just going to get your pants all wet, green slimy stuff wrapped around your ankles. Roe, definitely the way to go. No, I know what that whole thing is really about. And let me just say, I'm not pro-abortion, I'm not anti-abortion. I just think that what happens inside a person's body is nobody else's business. No, oh, could have used you in northern Minnesota a couple weeks ago. Scary there. And you know, when I say something that in places like that, I get accused of being woke. And I'm not woke. Most of the time, I'm half asleep. I don't even know what woke means. You know, really, neither does anybody else. It's just one of those words people throw around when they disagree with somebody. But no, most of the noise around this whole subject, though, has to do with differing beliefs on when a human egg becomes a person. Now, a lot of people believe that that happens at conception, as soon as it's fertilized. Others believe that happens at birth. For others, it's some time in between or some other time altogether. Now, I'm Jewish. In our tradition, you become a person upon graduation from medical school. Up until then, you're just a random collection of cells. That's all there is to it. We're in kind of a lull now with the Canadian wildfire smoke, right? And I think overall we've handled that whole situation pretty well. It would be really different if the smoke were coming across the other border from the other direction, right? And can you imagine Fox News? Clouds of illegal Mexican smoke are surging across the border. No stopping them. Mexican illegals are burning fentanyl and blowing the smoke across the border right where that wall is supposed to be. Fuck Mexico. And of course, you know, historically, what we've done when we've had disagreements with Mexico, taken chunks of their land, right? I mean, that's where Texas and California and Arizona came from. And now, I think it's time to reverse the process. Give Texas back. There is nothing there anybody needs. Ted Cruz, Beto O'Rourke, the Dallas Cowboys, Mexico can have them all, and good riddance. And then, when those migrants would come splashing and struggling across the Rio Grande, guess what? They're still in Mexico. Problem solved. And if they did want to, you know, continue on, depending on which direction they chose, they would hit either Arkansas or Oklahoma and probably turn back on their own. All right. Well, I don't have an album coming out at any time. But if you do want to see my Netflix special, contact Netflix and tell them to give me one. Well, I do want to thank you all very much. Good night.